Alright then, hello everyone and welcome back to New Era F1 Esports Formula 2 2026, the first ever Formula 2 season in New Era Esports. We are at the second out of 6 weeks of competitive racing action, where we are here for round 3 and 4 of the championship around Miami and Vegas a bit later on. We are going to get going in about a minute or two, just letting everyone get everything in order. But it was a dominant performance last week out from Matty Adam that saw him took 2 wins in a row and established a very, very healthy lead in the Drivers' Championship. However, Matty is not racing here today, and will that mean that his lead of about 20 or 25 points, I believe it is, will be demolished? It could be so. We will await and see what the outcome of qualifying here is at Miami. It's a one-shot qualifying, which is obviously very, very hard to do commentary on, but we'll give it our best shot. So far, Squidge 2017 has been the man to beat in qualifying. I believe it's 2 pole positions in a row. We've also got a qualifying ban from Djokovic, so I expect to see him starting at the back of the field. Will be able to make his way through potentially. It's a 16-lap race around here, so a lot of racing to be done in these Formula 2 cars. That does allow for quite a bit of racing. As there we go, the ready up has been given and one-shot qualifying will commence within a minute. So then, one-shot qualifying around Miami. I don't quite know what we can expect, to be fair. We'll wait and see. But then obviously doing any sort of commentary on a one-shot qualifying session is next to impossible, so I apologize in advance. So should every single one-shot qualifying, should I just pick out someone to go on board with? We'll wait and see. There's still quite a bit of movement throughout the field. Miami then could be very, very split in terms of who will have a good week, so wait and see. Here on board then with Tess, who had a very, very rough first week of the championship as he locks up going into the first corner. Is down in 10th already. Squidge establishing an early advantage, followed by returning SFLY Jamar Jr. So it's brilliant having him back in the league. Let's go on board with him for a little bit. In that Alpine that he has driven previously in the league as well, or an Alpine liveried car if nothing else. As Squidge then has fallen down a couple of positions, gets straight back up as Djokovic, I believe, is starting to fall down. A BT in P16 though, so something's gone wrong. Don't know quite what. So here we go then, Jamar in 5th place at the moment, being challenged by Noah. Squidge and Ray battling away for this provisional P1. Djokovic's retired from this session, he'll start last. Ray and Squidge battling away for pole position at the moment. Ray has the slight advantage, doesn't get a good exit coming out of that long final corner, but that is going to give a big advantage to Squidge going all the way down this straight. It's a long straight as well to be able to make anything of that advantage of. Now is the question, can Squidge make it 3 for 3 if I'm not mistaken, and yet another pole position? Where is the VARs? They are in P6 and P7. Where is Noah? He is P6 now, being overtaken by the VAR. Squidge is going to take pole position yet again, just beating out Ray by 5 thousandths of a second. It's a big gap down to P4 and P3 and P4. But what a session that, and what a very, very minuscule gap between Squidge 2017 and Ray W25 in the dams. Then we have iWatts in P3, followed by Mackers in 4th. Tess in 5th, so he's having a better week this week than he was a week ago. Noah in 6th. Jamar finishes 7th in his first session back, followed by Yeetmex, Tiger Octave, and Darren Style inside the top 10. Wildcat qualifies P11, followed by Wigan. Mr. Wilco having a miserable evening. And ABT and Djokovic. ABT, Djokovic, and Kit. Not getting laps in. Kit disqualified there at the end. So then, it's just gonna be a minute or two more of a break before we get going next time around. Hello to everyone watching, hopefully you are enjoying. This is Formula 2 in NEF1, and we're about to get this race started up in just a little bit of time. 16 laps around Miami circuit, then we'll see. Last time it became very, very obvious that the alternate strategy was the way people wanted to go. So we'll see what everyone decides to do here today. It's mediums or super softs, if I'm not mistaken, so it's a bit of a tire offset. The question is, how fast will those super soft tires wear out, or will they go a full race distance even? Tire wear not really a thing with these Formula 2 cars. And as the tires are significantly skinnier, it doesn't have that much of an impact on the actual car. It does have a little bit of effect on the performance of the car, obviously, but not as much. Squidge then celebrates his pole position with a hooyah. And Ray obviously responding to his P2 by a couple of thousandths of a second as well. That must have been very, very frustrating. It all came down probably to that hairpin right before the long DRS straight. Just gotten out of our corner slightly better. Could have been pole position for Ray, but just wasn't quite meant to be. So then there we go, the radio pass being given. We'll be racing in no time. A couple of people going for a, should we say, normal strategy, starting on the super soft tires, but a majority of the field starting on that yellow walled medium. As there we go then, formation lap is beginning. We're on board in the number 25 AIX car of Squidge 2017 on Barnard. I think it's Taylor Barnard. On board now with the dams of Ray W25, followed by the VAR of iWatts. The campers on Mackers, and a spinning test on the formation lap isn't quite ideal. We'll have some ground to make up. I believe so will 1980's Wildcat, who has overtaken Darren Stahl in the formation lap. A little bit of misunderstanding perhaps in those high techs. Wiggins 71, very, very close to points last time out. Wasn't quite there though. Mr. Wilco lost a podium after a post-race investigation. He'll be hoping for revenge here, but starting down in P13 certainly not going to help. This is circuit we can overtake though. A33 BT, another difficult qualifying session for him, another potentially difficult weekend for a BT. We'll see what it comes to. Djokovic, he's been very, very good in these cars so far out. Will he be good in them yet again? We shall wait and see. He is driving in the Banana Invicta for this race and next races onwards as well, after a transfer over to keep the field competitive and give us a little bit more to fight for at the sharp end, with a couple of drivers not turning up for the first 2-3 races. Kit W41 riding solo in his Prima again. He's starting from P16, which in these Formula 2 cars might not be a bad thing either. Might not be just a bad thing. Starting tires, that's a good question. I just went over it maybe before you joined in, but let's have a look. So most people starting on the yellow wall medium tires, apart from Max in P4, we have Wigan in P12, then Djokovic and Kit starting on the purple walled super soft tire. They'll be trying to go as long as they can on that tire, hopefully just bringing out that maximum performance of them, just being able to extend that stint maybe a little bit as well, not having to go on the mediums for quite so long. But then everyone is parked up and we are ready to go. Starts in these Formula 2 cars can be a little bit tricky. Expect to see someone struggle just a little bit. Squidge versus Ray on the start then for the first time in NEF1, and his lights on, away we go, and Squidge gets a decent pull away. And he gets a very, very good second phase at start. Iwatts gets a brilliant pull away and he's straight past Ray. W2 finally is challenging round the outside of Squidge. Is he going to be able to get that move done? He's round the outside, he's hanging it round the outside, which puts him on the optimum line for the next couple of corners. They bang wheel, Iwatts and Squidge side by side into the S's, but this is where Squidge, with his wheel, with his experience of racing at the front, has the advantage, but it's Iwatts who grabs P1 off of Squidge on the opening lap. Wigan Wildcat having a bad start there, down a couple of positions each, along with Kit, down 2 seconds already. But Iwatts, what a start from the VAR, and Tess as well done a brilliant getaway. Was P3, now P4, but still up a position. Djokovic 5 places on the opening lap. That's a start to be proud of for him. Iwatts then in the lead of an NEF1 race once again. Now let's see if he can capitalize on this. It's a decent opening lap. It's a very, very good opening lap for both the VARs. Noah and Djokovic in the Invicta will be happy as well. And we got a yellow flag in the last sector. In the second sector, sorry, that is Kit, who's had a problem in his Prima, and he is without a front wing. Just trying to push on as long as he can. Iwatts, Squidge, Ray, Tess, Max is his top 5 at the moment. Jamar and Noah holding position, one of the only cars to do so, along with Kit. Jamar in that Alpine liveried ART, I believe it is. Call it an ART or an ART? Probably an ART. Then with Tiger Octave in P8, has been good in these Formula 2 cars to begin with, and just as I say that, he shows some less than ideal driving. Not being able to get that car slowed down, hitting the inside of Jamar. No harm, no foul though. Jamar will just be a little bit annoyed with that contact. That means though Djokovic will be right on their tails, going on to the first DRS straight of the race, and leaving Djokovic in a situation like that might not be ideal. Very, very tricky braking zone, this left-hander, especially in these Formula 2 cars as well. It's even harder in the F1 cars actually. But here we go. DRS opens for Djokovic. Will he have a straight line speed advantage over Tiger Octave? Is the question. It looks like it. Just tucking into a little bit of slipstream. Squidge has gotten ahead of Iwatts as well under the DRS, and Djokovic gets ahead of Tiger Octave, and he spins coming out of the corner, not being able to control his car on the X, and that's a shame for Djokovic. Done such a good launch of the line, up 5 positions, 6 positions even. By the time we got to that incident, now down to P13 yet again though. Squidge now back into the lead of the Grand Prix, and can he try to just run away with this a little bit? We'll wait and see. We've got a high-tech running into some sort of problem in the last sector. Lead those 1980s Wildcat. So how has everyone on that super soft tire gone along? It's not really made a difference, I think we can say. For Djokovic it's worked out quite well, to be fair though. So we have someone tumbling down the order. That is Tiger Octave, I believe, who must have had a problem coming out of the last corner, because he's now P14 and missing a front wheel, or sorry, not a front wheel, a front wing M plate on his Red Bull liveried Campos. That is most likely race ruined for Tiger Octave then, with that kind of damage. In these cars as well that are very, very aero sensitive, losing a front wing end plate is not something you can drive around with, let's just say that. That's a shame for Tiger Octave. Djokovic back up into the top 10. I'm very, very curious to see what happened with that incident regarding Tiger Octave. I believe he was somewhere along Djokovic-Darren territory. I'm not quite sure where he was when the incident occurred, so I will not speak any further on it. Mr. Wilco's on the back of Yeetmix then, who is 2.6 seconds behind his fellow YJ Barnwell after only a couple of laps. And Noah's been a naughty little boy. He has cut the corners a little bit too much. 3-second time penalty. That's not a track limit violations penalty. That's a straight corner cutting penalty. You would imagine he wasn't able to get the car slowed down for the chicanes. He gets very, very close to the back of Mackers though, into the entry of the final corner. But he's not quite able to work with it. Jamar's running a race of himself at the moment, or with himself. Mr. Wilco just trying something around the outside of Yeetmix. It's very, very hard to outbrake someone in these cars though. Very, very easy to just end up outbraking yourself instead. So Yeetmix, Mr. Wilco and Djokovic is running order at the moment. Darren running 1.7 back in his high-tech. Not quite close to points so far. But we'll see. The fastest lap point is to be awarded as well, and that at the moment goes to Squidge 2017, who is unable actually to break out a 1 second gap to the car behind. Boat's interesting for the rest of the Grand Prix. How good is Iwat's tire management is my immediate question. But he is getting along very, very well inside these Formula 2 cars as Iwat's. Ray get along nicely as well, down in position on start, will be frustrated with it, but within touching distance of Iwat's. And then we have Tess, who is running P4 at the moment, reigning in the F1 champion, having a little bit more of a difficult time with these Formula 2 cars. Be very curious to see how Noah got that 3-second corner cutting penalty as well. Gets very close to Tess under braking. Tess outbrakes himself massively, and that is him down in P7. Noah up in 4th place, Mac is 5th, and Jamar 6th. As Djokovic picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Djokovic already having a penalty from last week, that was a qualifying ban, and now picking himself up an even worse penalty, the 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is so unnecessary, just to gain about half a second maybe going into the pit lane. Not braking early enough, but it's something we see so often. So then Noah on Ray. That 3-second time penalty is going to come into play at the end of the Grand Prix. And that's some closing speed from Noah. Actually does send it down the inside of Ray. Can he keep it on the black stuff? Just about, actually. But it does turn into a little bit of battle going into the chicane, where Ray just is on the optimum line. Noah not quite able to control this car as well. Getting a bit slidey through the long right-hander, and Ray just hangs on to position. But that was a fast car in a straight line from Noah. Let's see if he can do something like that on this DRS straight again. But I think he might just be a bit too far back. We'll see now with the DRS they're starting to give some effect. Now the closing speed very fast as you get to the end of the straight, but not quite close enough. So, Djokovic, that 10-second time penalty, is taking himself out of contention. Not ideal. Mac is coming into the pit lane as well, so is Wiggins71 as MP. It's actually a really nice looking car, that MP Motorsport. It's a really nice looking car. Best looking car of the field, A33 beat is ART. That beautiful, almost chromish blue. With a front wing change as well for a BT. So what's gone on there, you would ask? It's always a BT who ends up in some sort of incident. It's usually not his fault. Is that a dual tire swap as well? Am I tripping, or did they change his tires 2 times? Says Matty Adam 98, our championship leader, He's saying hola hola in chat. Hello Matty, hopefully you're enjoying yourself at work. Unfortunately, your championship rival at the moment, your two championship rivals are P1 and P2 of the Miami Grand Prix. We're 6 laps into a 16 lap race though, so a lot can still happen. So then, Mr. Wilco on Yeetmex, 4 attempts back. This should turn into an overtaking opportunity, maybe around the outside, but no, not quite. So hard to get these cars slowed down. And now Squidge has started breaking away from Iowa's a little bit. The gap was just under a second. It is now 1.6. So a bit more difficult at this stage of the race for Iwatts then, but brilliant start from him. Has gained him a P2 to begin with, and Ray not able to follow him anywhere near closely. 2.3 seconds back. Iwatts in a quite good position right now if he wants to try something on the stretchy. And Matty Adam, it was Squidge 2017 who got pole position by 5 thousandths of a second over Ray. So very, very close margins, but Squidge just got there in the end. And at the moment, we looked at fastest lap a little while ago. Let's just get back to it. Fastest lap at the moment, held by Squidge 2017, 1:38.332. There's Noah on the back of Rave, and now surely this should turn into an overtake, as Noah's practically right on his tail. But I quite like this. No battery to play around with. You need a decent setup. You need that DRS as well in order to get by, as Noah flies by him straight. Nothing Ray can do about that one. Now Noah just needs to get the car slowed down, turn into the apex, and nice and easy on the power coming out of it. Noah's up into P3 for the time being, but 3-second time penalty still applies. Corner cutting, which is a penalty, by the way, that can be looked at after the race should it meet certain criteria. But this race situation is flipping the championship hopes for Matty Adam on their head at the moment. When Matty got a little bit lucky with Squidge, not quite knowing the rules and regulations as for how you can pit him from the two cars last time out in Saudi Arabia, Matty broke away quite a sizable advantage in the Drivers' Championship. That now, this week, will be going away, and we expect to be seeing a different leader come the end of these two races, and I would expect that to be Squidge, by the way this is going. Here we go then. Ray passed Noah immediately, actually, on the next time of asking. So the dams of Ray, relatively competitive, just can't seem to catch up to the back of Iwatts, who is dropping time now. He is dropping time to the car ahead. What else have we got going up? Quite big gaps at the moment, which seems to be the case with all these Formula 2 cars for whatever reason. I was hoping for slightly closer racing than this. But Mr. Wilco is following XX Yeetmex. That sounded a bit funny when you say it like that. That's SSR Halo in chat. Hello mate, how are you doing? So then, how is Djokovic getting along? I am at a loss for words. And I promise you that wasn't scripted. Djokovic then is out of the race. I'm sorry for laughing. Djokovic is out of the race on lap 8 out of 16. We have our first safety car in Formula 2. And whomever caught that, please clip it. The timing was way too good. It's France all over again with, I believe I was riding on board with a beat just then. It is a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car for 1980s Wildcat. Djokovic's out of this race. Be allowed to compete next time out in Vegas, where we're heading in a couple of minutes. But then the first safety car of the Grand Prix, and now the pit regulations. I believe you are allowed to pit under a safety car. I don't know if you're allowed to pit under a virtual safety car. You might actually not be allowed to pit under a safety car. It's all a bit confusing to me at the moment, but it's up for the drivers to know these things now. Know how you're allowed to pit in these Formula 2 cars, because it is a bit special. If not, we could be looking at mass disqualification from this race, but we'll wait and see. Noah, how does this affect him with the 3-second time penalty? That's a good question. Why, it doesn't oh, come on, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane under a safety car, Noah. That's not ideal. Not ideal, but that is Noah probably out of contention this race, and Invicta are having a really, really bad week for the time being. Apparently you can pit under the virtual safety car, or under the full safety car, sorry. As we just had beep of Djokovic, I imagine that swear word's coming through. Yeatmex has stayed out actually on his old medium tires. The information I'm hearing is that you can pit under a safety car, just not the VSC. Is the information that I'm reading. Don't take my word for it. But then a lot of cars switching over to a set of super soft tires for a final lap showdown, basically. We're expecting the safety car to come in at the end of lap 12, you would imagine. So it'll be about a lap or two of the safety car, and then Yeatmex. Oh, will Yeatmex be controlling this? And 1980s Wildcat, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane for 1980s Wildcat, and it's just getting worse and worse. So then Wildcat with, let's just say, a hefty amount of time penalties will not be scoring points today, and if he does, I will, I don't know, what would I want to bet on it? Let's not do any betting, let's not be like that. Yeatmex from Squidge, from iWatts, from Ray, Noah, Jamar, and Mackers is the running order at the moment. Mack is pitting a bit earlier, and losing out because of it, obviously now due to cars getting away with a cheap pit stop under the safety car, everyone going significantly slower than it would be. No, actually coming into the pit lane here at the end of lap 10. Is that just to get rid of the 10-second time penalty and maybe try to fight his way through the field naturally? If anything, that could actually be quite a good idea. He'll be starting last, but if he can get a good safety car restart, then he's free of the penalty and he's free to actually race again. What penalty has he got left on then? So we'll keep the interval. He's still got a 3-second time penalty. But you could do something with that. Squidge versus iWatts then on a brand new set of tires. Race been brought into play along with Jamar and P4. He's had a very, very quiet race, but a very solid race by the look of things as well. As if you're reading the Twitch chat at the moment, there you have a decent explanation of the pit regulations as in regards to a safety car or a virtual safety car, but apparently you can pit under a full safety car. It's knowledge that I unfortunately didn't have. Unfortunately I didn't have last week as well, where we did see not mass disqualification, but a relatively big disqualification. I believe it was 4 cars affected last time out in Saudi Arabia, was it? The 1980s Wildcats race is ruined. The kit has been at the back for a majority of this one, unfortunately. Over the entirety of this one. Djokovic was running a very, very good race, but now triggering this safety car. With a DNF coming out of the final corner, just getting under power a bit too quick. The AIX of Squidge is just going to have to hang on to this P1 for a couple more laps before iWatts and Ray start chopping away at him. Jamar in 4th, followed by Mac is in 5th. He still had a decent race, but he's on that medium tyre. Darren's gone in 10-second time penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. Also, how did Darren appear up in P6? I don't actually know. Because now I'm a bit confused. I don't know if Darren was P6 or not. I'd like to think that I noticed that, but I'm not going to comment on it yet. But he did get a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag regardless. Something's obviously gone on. So the majority of the field has caught up to the back of the pack. 1980s Wildcat and Kit are the only two drivers yet to do so. And the question is the game going to wait for them for another lap? I'm going to be a bit rude here and say hopefully not, because I want that 5 laps worth of racing action at the end. 4 laps of racing action actually. As Eri says, Formula 2 cars are great fun. Yes, they are. It's a bit of a different style of racing than what we used to with the very, very battery-dependent league racing that we usually have on this F1 game. But it is very, very fun to see something different. Just, it's pure racing. It's not as flashy, not as many overtakes, but it is a very, very fun style of racing to just be watching. Hopefully you are enjoying it, as we're about to have our first our first safety car restart with these cars as well. So as soon as safety car's in the pit lane, which it is now, Squidge will be able to get this race restarted at his point of asking. So when is that his question? Is he just going to try to wait a little bit to break Vito? Oh, so he gets a brilliant jump for a little while there on Iowa, so he's not going to be able to follow him through. Ray gets caught a bit unaware as well. It's a good safety car restart that from Squidge, who holds on to P1 beautifully now with a couple of laps left to go. Most everyone on super soft tires apart from Mackers and Wigan, we expect to see them falling down potentially quite quickly. Everyone having made their mandatory pit stop. So Van Darren with that 10-second time penalty, Wigan behind him. Tess is needing to climb a little bit. In P8. I don't quite know how he ended up down there. It must have been something to do with the timing of that safety car. Tess was running a very, very good race up until then. As Mac is just now on the back of Mr. Wilco. Mr. Wilco's actually dropped back a second almost already to us, followed by Jamar in 4th. So it's a battle for the podium between Squidge, iWatts, Ray and Jamar. Mr. Wilco might just be a bit too far back to do anything about it. Then we have Macca's, Darren, Tess, Yeatmex and Wigan. It's a double points finish at the moment for MP Motorsports, if you can keep track of it. Darren Stahl, keep in mind that 10-second time penalty. Noah coming up behind them has a 3-second time penalty, so it's a lot still to play for at the end of this race. Tiger Rockdaft, though, very, very good in these cars as Wigan breaks himself and he joins right alongside Noah. Has to slot in behind him. Squidge gets the fastest lap at Grand Prix on a safety car restart. That's impressive stuff from the one-time NEF1 champion. So then, can Noah score points somehow in this race? That 10-second time penalty took a lot out of him. That 3-second time penalty could come back to bite him. I believe the battle for the lead might just be a little bit too far out of Iwatts' reach, but a podium definitely is there. All he needs to do is sit back and defend with the aid of some DRS and maybe just actually try to pounce on Squidge if the opportunity arises. He has 2 more laps to do so. Iwatts, Ray hunting him down. Jamar wants that podium. His first race back in NEF1 as well. Has been gone for a little less than a full F1 season. That's about 16 weeks, you would imagine, something like that. He's been gone from the league, so welcome him back. As Teston is within the points, his P8 currently P7 if you take penalties into effect. Darren's going to drop massively out of the points, and that might just help Noah out a little bit. He can create a bit of breathing room down to a BT, and now he's approaching Tiger Octaf as well, but not quite close enough to make a move into the final corner. Surely moves to the inside, and Tiger Octaf outbrakes himself. And well done for Noah, just showing his nose a little bit and making Tiger just a tad bit uncomfortable. I don't know if that was a lockup or it was just one of those moments where these Formula 2 cars just did not want to slow down. As Tess and Yeetmex doing battle into the first corner. Then it's VAR versus MP Motorsport. Blue versus black and orange on your screen there. Tess in the black and orange and Yeetmex in the blue MP. And Yeetmex just coming out ahead into the SS for the penultimate time in this race. Penultimate time in this race means penultimate time for Ray now, who has gotten ahead of Iwatts somehow. You'd imagine a mistake is to play. Can Ray maybe somehow just snatch a win away from Squidge 2017? Gets very close on the straight, and now he's going to have another straight to try to do so. Is that a car that is very, very good in a straight line? This question. If that is the case, if I'm Squidge, I would be starting to worry just now, because Ray very much at the back of him. Jamar, 3-second time penalty, multiple track limit warnings, gets very close to the back of Iwatts on that straight. But now Ray, can he snatch away the win on the final time of asking? DRS is enabled. Squidge will be left defenseless here. Ray takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Out of nowhere there. Can he get the car slowed down? Yes, he can. And now Squidge, 1 lap to try to get this back. The man who until now has only won 1 race in NEF1, and it came very, very late towards the end of last season in Bahrain. We've only done a couple of more races since then, but is he now going to claim his second one within not too long? Can Squidge fight back? It was a very, very fast Dams car in a straight line that really has been looking uncompetitive towards the majority of this race, at least for a Grand Prix win worth of pace. He's looking good for a podium throughout the entire race, but now he is looking like a favorite for the win. Only half a lap left to go, 2 overtaking zones. Can Squidge get close enough to set himself up for something in that final corner? Kit has retired from this race, and in the pit lane potentially? Not quite sure. Squidge, very, very close, showing his inside front there to Ray, who locks up a little bit, and now it becomes a game of chicken. How fast is Squidge going to be on that back straight is the question. What kind of a run can Ray get coming out of the final corner? He'll need a good one. The DRS is relatively powerful, but it might just come down to the braking zone. Ray and Squidge here. This will come down to the final couple of meters. DRS is enabled for Squidge 2017. Will Ray be able to defend this? Moves to the inside aggressively. He's giving Squidge nothing down the inside to work with. Squidge rounds the outside of Ray. Will he be able to out-traction him? It'll become a straight drag race to the line, but Ray has just got it, and he wins the Miami Grand Prix of Formula 2. Well done to Ray. That win came out of absolutely nowhere. Squidge will have to settle for second place, pole position as well, but it is P2 for Squidge 2017, and Iwatts comes home in third place. He'll be disappointed running second or first for a majority of the race. Mr. Wilco in for very, very close to a podium in the end. Jamar finishes P5 alongside Max in P6. Yeetmex finishes P7. Good result for him. Tiger Octave in 8th. Wigan, first points of the season in 9th. ABT, first points of the season in P10 as well. Noah just missing out there with that 3-second time penalty. It did become too much in the end. Darren finishes P12. Tess not inside the points after what was a very good race for himself. What a shame for Tess there, as we're hearing the beeping of Djokovic once again. I don't know if you can hear that on the stream. It's a little bit distracting. Prix then with another victory here in NEF1. What a move. Second win in New Era F1 Esports for Ray W25N, as I've got to mute myself during the little bit of an off period before the next Grand Prix as well, just to get rid of that beeping. Please let me know if you can actually hear that on stream as well, or if it's just me that's getting a bit annoyed by it. But then it's a podium consisting of Ray W25, Squidge 2017, and I was picking up another couple of points. But this means now that Matty's championship lead well and truly in danger. Squidge has another good result here. I was in P3, Mr. Wilco 13th to 4th, as a very, very good week, or a very, very good race, I should say. Jamar, in his first race back, with a 3-second time penalty as well, mind you, finishes P5. Ahead of Mac is Yeetmex, Tiger Octave, Wigan, and a BT as your points finishers. Test 1980s Wildcat, the last car to finish the Grand Prix. Kit registered as a finisher. Djokovic, the one retiree from this Grand Prix. Right then, we'll be going to a little bit of a break before we can get the next race underway. That'll be very, very shortly, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back within 5 minutes for the start of qualifying around Las Vegas. You don't want to miss out on that. Stay tuned, because we'll be right back. As I can unfortunately confirm that someone has readied up a little bit too early. So then, we'll be getting qualifying going a little bit ahead of schedule, and we'll be trying to find out who did it so we can issue them a qualifying ban for next week. So then, one-shot qualifying once again is the most awkward thing in the world to do commentary on. We'll give it our best shot. Who should we go on board with, chat? Who do you want to see the qualifying lap of? Who do we fancy? Give me a suggestion, any name, and we'll go on board with them for the majority of qualifying. Squidge at the moment on provisional pole position. Djokovic in P2. We'll go for Djokovic for the time being, seeing if he can redeem himself a little bit after the disappointment of Miami. Very, very good in Saudi Arabia, the street circuit last time out then. So, can he have a performance similar to that here in Vegas in the daylight as well? There's one particular corner that is going to massively affect this outcome, and that is coming up very, very soon. And you're going to see big shakeups in terms of running order through this particular left-hander that is coming up just now as we brake. You've got to brake very well in time or people are going to run into that wall. And we've seen a couple of shakeups, nothing too major though. Djokovic running in P5. Where is Ray in all of this? I'm very, very curious at. He is P2. How close is he to Squidge 2017? Can he nab a pole position off Squidge? Get those extra 2 points. The current, the man who won the last race out then in Formula 2, Ray W25. Can he just nib pole position off the line? I believe Djokovic might have even snubbed him then for P2. We'll see. Squidge is expected to come home for yet another pole position in Formula 2. Djokovic comes home in second place, and no one was getting close to Squidge in qualifying there. It's a big field spread as well. Darren coming home. Oh, Darren's not even close to coming home quite yet. That an awful lap with an incident somewhere along the line. But Squidge comes home in P1, followed by Djokovic in second, Ray in third, Noah in fourth, ABT is third, with the ARTs at 5 and 6. iWatts lead of the VARs in P7, I believe it was. That was a big, big margin at the front of the pack. Squidge 2017 by over half a second takes pole position away from Djokovic and Ray, followed by Noah, BT, Jamar, iWatts, Tiger Rock, Def Makers, and Tess just inside that top 10. Wigan just missing out in P11, followed by Wildcat, Kit, Yeetmex. Then we would have had Darren and Mr. Wilco did not get a full lap in. So then hopefully no one's going to trigger this race too early. If they do, I'll be very, very upset because I need to go have a drink as well. So then, hopefully now we can actually go for a little bit of a break. I'm just going to go have a drink of water for the time being, because I've been speaking non-stop for the last about an hour now. So I'll see you very, very soon again for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We'll be right back. Alright then, we are back and the ready up has been given out for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We'll be going over starting tyres and starting order very, very soon at this Miami track, bathed in sunlight at the moment in the beautiful sunset setting as well. We'll see if we transition over tonight for the end of the before the end of the race. We shall wait and see what comes of this race as well. One of the circuits that should race particularly well, especially with the very, very long Vegas trip. But here we go then, Squidge on the formation lap. He is expected to maybe even run away with this race. We'll wait and see. As for Matty Adam, unfortunately I was helping co-worker move, which means I wasn't able to quite put the graphics up on screen for this week. We'll try to do that next time out. Unfortunately though, they're not updated as per race-to-race basis anymore, as we do 2 races in a week. But you do have access to the graphics either way, they're on the Discord, buddy. Djokovic in P2 and followed by Ray in P3, starting on a super soft tyres. A lot of people starting on the super soft tyres actually. Let's have a look. Top 5 all starting super softs. Then we have Jamar, iWatts, Octave going slightly longer on the soft tyres. So does Tess, Kit and Yeetmex. Everyone else super soft tyres for the start of this race. Jamar, iWatts, Octave, Marcus and Tess making up the rest of the top 10 there outside the top 5. So then Squidge, 4 points secured from pole positions alone this week. I believe 8 points in total. Matty, could you correct me on that if I'm wrong? Or did Squidge nab both pole positions last week as well? If anything, that's becoming quite a point haul at the moment for our dear friend, who is running along quite nicely with this formation lap as well. He's quite significantly ahead of Djokovic. Not really keeping pace at the moment. As we get to one of the most awkward corners in Formula 1, that inside curb, that slightly raised elevated inside curb on the second part of the chicane, is so incredibly awkward. So then we'll be having a start in a less than straight situation for a couple of the cars. We'll be starting at a very, very weird angle in cars that are already quite a handful to start. So, and you want to get yourself the best possible angle for this start. Squidge 2017 aimed straight forward for that first corner. Djokovic doing the same. 5 red lights. And his lights on, away we go. And can Djokovic match Squidge on the start? He can actually do just that a little bit better, but it won't be enough before the first corner that comes at you very, very quickly. Ray and Noah maintaining their positions. Max is down a couple on the start, having a bad one. So does Wildcat. Ray, Noah jostling for position there at the back, running side by side with each other. We're coming on to the first out of many, many straights that will encounter this race. But Squidge has the lead of the Vegas Grand Prix from Djokovic, Ray and Noah. And that Invicta team, if they can keep a performance like this, is looking good. However, no points scored in Miami, so they need to maximize if they want to have a chance at a potential championship push later on. Keep in mind, we're already a third way through the season after this race. It flies by quickly. So then A33BT becomes the first to outbreak himself going into that particular corner, and I believe we saw someone else massively overcook it, and I believe that was Yeetmex as well. By the look of things, potentially, I could be wrong, but someone absolutely cooked it into that particular corner. And we're going to see that a couple of more times throughout this evening. And Jamar now on the back of Noah with a car that looks quite slippery in a straight line. Not quite slippy enough to get by though, slippy enough for a little up tap Jamar and Noah, two drivers who have raced each other for a long time in this league. Have been with us since, I believe, season 4 or 5, maybe, Noah, if I'm not mistaken. Then going under the name of No Larks, Jamar's been with us since season 2, I'm quite certain. Multiple time race winner in NEF1. Is Jamar Noah still hunting his first? So then, as here goes Djokovic, has got a massive run on Squidge with the aid of a little bit of DRS. Now down the inside, not quite. Squidge locks the outside front, I believe that was. But that's the closing speed with a little bit of DRS here, and that could be a problem for Squidge if he's running just a bit too heavy downforce, because it was very, very fast closing speed for Djokovic. Faster than he normally would be, you would imagine. So wait and see. The Vegas Strip is coming up, and Squidge will be left very, very vulnerable there, potentially. And this is a situation where he could find himself vulnerable to one or even two cars on one straight without DRS. So we're going to see quite a lot of jostling for position, jostling for DRS. The DRS chicken games, as you call them, around this particular circuit. Djokovic already picking up a little bit of a toe on Squidge, and that's before DRS even opens up. Here goes Djokovic round the outside of Squidge to take the lead of the Vegas Grand Prix. Nothing Squidge can do about it. Djokovic leads the Vegas Grand Prix then. Squidge in P2, Ray in third. So then that Vegas overtaking that I promoted a little bit earlier on is coming to its fruition, as we're going to set a problem going around the final corner. And is that potentially a car without a front wing end plate? It's a car without a front wing end plate. Luckily for him, the pit lane entry is just coming up, but that is Wiggins' night well and truly done. Kit's already had a bad start to this race. I'm curious now as to what can Djokovic do in the lead of this Grand Prix race. Actually very, very close to the back of Squidge as well now. And Matty will be celebrating like you would not believe if this result would to be finalised. It's a slightly shorter race, this 14 laps instead of 16 last time out, but I don't think the lap times are that much longer. However, the track length is significantly longer around here, which is why the distance is shorter. As there goes Ray, and he hits the back of Squidge, and he got very, very lucky. Did Ray that Squidge didn't feel more an effect on that, or it could be a post-race penalty. Ray just getting away with it there, coming off well worse himself. But here comes Squidge on Djokovic, and defending on the Vegas Strip is, let's just gonna say, it's gonna be difficult. Squidge retakes the lead of the Grand Prix, followed by Djokovic now, and no MP3. It's a double Invicta podium for the time being. Ray in fourth after that contact with the back of Squidge just a moment ago. Whilst that was going on, Matty was having wet dreams in the crew room of Jet 2 at Manchester Airport, as he was absolutely hoping that Squidge would have been taken out there. So then, Jamer in P4, Iwatts in P5, Ray in 6th, followed by A33 BT in P7. Ray behind Iwatts now, and he's moving backwards this race is Ray. Down the inside though of Iwatts into the braking zone after the fast DRS straight. Can't quite control the car on the exit, and Iwatts is able to pull ahead. As there, a little bit of contact between Iwatts and Ray. He's not having a good race, Ray, let me tell you that. The top two are the only cars to remain unchanged since the start of the Grand Prix. It's Squidge, Djokovic running that formation. Noah, significant amount behind. Not like Djokovic can do anything to help him out. The 1.5 seconds is the gap between them, 1.3 actually. Then you've got Jamar coming up behind as well. So it's a two-horse race at the moment between Squidge and Djokovic, two former NEF1 champions. One a one-time champion, one a three-time champion. Right now the one-time champion just holding steady in P1, trying to do everything he can to just extend that championship advantage that he'll have on Matty by the end of this race. Djokovic doing everything he can to get back on the top step of a podium of an NEF1 event. It has been since season 8, if I'm not mistaken, when he last won. As Noah and Ray, both in the pit lane relatively early, leaves Jamar undisputed in a podium position. And Mac is with another 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and we are having a lot of these types of incidents at the moment. As apparently people are picking up on something that I completely missed out on. Maybe Jamar knocking Ray off his line slightly. Speaking about off his line, Squidge massively outbreaking himself, and that is Djokovic right on his chuff, along with SFLY Jamar on that soft tire that seemingly is working quite well at the moment. Does the super softs go off that quickly is the question. Is it a tire that only lasts a couple of laps? As no, Djokovic and Jamar. Was that synchronized spinning, or was it an incident between them? I don't know, but it massively will affect the outcome of this race. Djokovic not losing too many positions, but he might when the pit window opens up. No damage on the front of that Invicta, but that is Djokovic most likely out of contention for that win. Squidge now in quite a comfortable position. iWatts hunting him down, is 1.1 behind. Not a better set of tyres at the moment. If you're Squidge, then surely you come into the pit lane immediately to try to set this strategy, and he does. I'm very, very curious as to if that was synchronized spinning or if it was an incident between Jamar and Djokovic. It was very, very hard to tell for me. It was very, very hard to tell. But it looks so perfect. It looked too perfect for it to not, for it to just be synchronized spinning. It feels like it was some type of incident. As Matty at the moment is experiencing the third stage of grief. Knowing that Squidge 2017 is most likely heading for his first win of this championship, actually. Both the first wins came from Matty Adam, then the third race of the season won by Ray W25, and now Matty will most likely lose the lead of the championship to Squidge, who might be picking up his first win of the season. But then, it's a long way to go, over half race distance still remaining. We can still have a bit of racing action, should anything happen. No one's expecting Ray to win last race, until we had a safety car that just changed things up a little bit, and Ray looked reinvigorated on that new tyre, as here comes Tess on Mr. ABT. These two drivers have been with us since Season 1 and done racing throughout most of those seasons. Quite close to each other in the championship usually as well. As there goes BT into the wall. I don't know if it's contact with iWatts there. Was that BT with Tess, or was it BT with iWatts? It would have been BT with Tess. So I get massively confused. That was iWatts I was speaking about, actually, not Tess. Unfortunately, BT and Tess not quite close in the championship standings. But heartbreak for BT there. It was getting along quite nicely, and then I don't know if it's contact. As what the was that? As we have a full course safety car after I don't know what that was. SSR Halo's at a loss for words, so am I, to be fair. as according to BT's AI drove him into a wall. BT, if you could, please just clip that for me. Because that is some of the weirdest stuff I have ever seen. Tess gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. BT is out of this race, potentially due to no fault of his own. It looked very, very weird. What on earth was that? Anyway, well, okay. This changes the outlook of this race, and it changes it significantly. iWatts has a massive lead in this race. Now he'll be able to go into the pit lane for a new set of tyres, for a new set of super softs, and he should come out clear of Squidge 2017. So this could be very, very nice on iWatts' race. Tiger Octave will wait and see what goes on here, but iWatts comes into the pit lane, and where is Squidge in all of this? It's just now coming off the end of the Vegas Strip. As iWatts is currently going into his pit box. Is this going to be close on exit? I don't particularly think so. As out of the pit box then goes iWatts. Is a set of super soft tires going on of that car, surely? Yes, it is. It's for Tiger Octave and Noah, who made a early pit stop, I believe. He is benefiting of this as well. P2 ahead of Squidge 2017 in P3, but iWatts leads the Vegas Grand Prix in P3. What is going on? As things are kicking off in chat as well with the emergence of the safety car. It looked very, very weird as we are now transitioning over to a night sky as well. The floodlights have come on. iWatts leads the Vegas Grand Prix then from Noah, Squidge, Tiger Octave and Ray. So everyone has made their pit stop. Super soft tires for iWatts, Octave, Jamer, Yeetmix and Tess. And as for Djokovic, the safety car came out at the worst possible time for him. He's down in P13 on a new set of tires with a lot of work to do. So he is practically last along with Wigan and Kit. No one's been lapped this race though, thankfully enough. So everyone's still on lead lap. As I'm very, very curious as to know how that incident with ABT and the barrier happened. But it's the standard A33 BT luck, if nothing else, isn't it? Something's always gonna happen to that man, unfortunately. And ironically, I believe his last win in NEF1 came around this very circuit. Last pole position, sorry. For A33 BT came around this very circuit. A race that was won by Jamer, if I'm not mistaken. Back in, could have been season 7 or season 8, the first time we ever went to Vegas in this league. It's now become a staple on the NEF1 calendar, Las Vegas as well. That is a long time ago now. So then, hello to everyone who is watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this one. We got 15 cars remaining in this race now during a safety car period here. Might be extended yet another lap. I hope not, but it might just be. For iWatts, that'd be quite ideal for him to not start wearing down those super soft tires too much. Because they did wear off rather quickly. I believe on lap 5 these soft tires were significantly better. But then, can Squidge withstand a bit of pressure from Tiger Octave potentially on that tire? His Kit's now retired as well. As Matt is saying he would enjoy one more lap of safety car. Well, I'm sure you do, Matty. Unfortunately, you're not going to get it. It's a very late call in, but safety car is coming in this lap. iWatts will be controlling the restart then, with not a lot of margin to play about with. The safety car is going to be coming in late, which means for Noah this will be quite readable potentially. We'll wait and see. When does iWatts go? The safety car is in the pit lane now. What kind of a jump can iWatts potentially get on Noah, who is very, very much prepared for this restart that is to come? There we go, and it's a good jump from iWatts, who gets away from Noah by a significant amount there. Brilliant restart in a situation where I thought the game maybe had just thrown everything at iWatts and said, okay, we inherited the lead for a safety car, have some fun with it. You shall wait and see how this plays out then, but it's a brilliant restart for iWatts, who takes the lead by 6/10 of a second. Tag Rockdaff on his super soft tires we're going to keep a track of as well. Ray on the soft tires might just have to play a bit of a waiting game, as I believe those Yeet mechs tapping the outside wall in his blue MP. Djokovic, sorry, getting past in P9. And those super soft tires of iWatts is doing wonders, let me tell you. This is leaving Noah seriously exposed from behind. 1 second's the gap after less than a lap, and iWatts is doing very, very well on those tires indeed. Now then, Vegas strip for the first time out, and can Squidge maybe even get past Noah without the use of any DRS? That's a fast car in a straight line, but as soon as you tuck out of the slipstream, that's when things even out a little bit and you have yourself a proper drag race to the line. Squidge is ahead of Noah, but is Noah going to chuck one down the inside into the braking zone maybe even? He's close enough to, but no, doesn't do so. And Squidge now set to chase after iWatts on that super soft tire. It's going to be very, very hard to defend still, even though the tire offset, but 4 laps to go. Anything can still happen. It's Formula 2 at Vegas. So what's the next soundboard? What have I said now? What have I said now, BTO? What have I done now that I did not even notice? So here goes Djokovic around the outside of Tess, then into the braking zone after the first DRS zone. Djokovic up into P7, Max still in P6, he's the next target. But Tess not quite enjoying these cars, down in P8 at the moment. I feel quite bad for Tess, he was having such a good race last time out in Miami, and then it came to nothing. I believe Mr. Wilco's looking very, very opportunistic on the back of Tess. Not quite working for him though, and now it's close to the front. iWatts and Squidge separated by 5/10 of a second. Noah 4/10 behind as well. And now then we'll see what the closing speed with the DRS here is on the Vegas strip. From half a second back, can Squidge take the lead of this race? And the closing speed is absolutely massive as Squidge flies by iWatts to take the lead of this race. iWatts can do absolutely nothing about that one. That closing speed was way above what I thought would be. But it is what it is. Yellow flags in the third sector, and we have a safety car at the very, very end of this race. What has gone on? It's one of the VARs or MPs, I believe. Darren Starr gets a 10-second time penalty for something. Wigan, I believe, was involved in that. Ends up quite a significant way behind. And Jamer has a new set of super soft tires on to imagine he'd lost an M plate or two. But then we're gonna have 1 or 2 laps worth of racing action to decide the end here. The question is, if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, which I believe it should be programmed to. Then we'll have DRS on the final lap. That could decide quite a bit. Can Squidge hold off iWatts for enough time to just have a bit of a margin going onto the Vegas Drift for the last time? I'm expecting the the safety car to come in at the end of this lap. I'll give us 2 laps of racing at the end. SSR Halo, iWatts will have 1 lap to do it. Yes, he will. So will Noah and Ray coming up behind as well. Those super soft tires have done about a lap and a half worth of racing action. It's not a lot, but they'll be in worse shape than the softs, you would imagine. And yes, the safety car is coming in this lap, so it's a very, very short safety car. Squidge then with the restarts, getting told significantly before I believe iWatts was last time out. So then, when will Squidge decide to go? He has a little bit more room to do, so he goes quite early. He gets a jump on iWatts, but not as big a jump as iWatts got on Noah. And now the chasing may begin. 1 lap to do it with DRS. Then no DRS on this lap, and Tess gets a disqualified for ignoring a drive-through penalty. What I'm worried about, I don't know if Tess actually could serve that penalty with those safety cars coming out. As Darren as well has retired from this session, and we're now having a lot of retirements in the same place. As that is Darren's car well in the racing line there, you can see just colliding with the wall, and we have 4 cars out. Last time we had 12 cars finishing in any F1 race. That was a long, long time ago for people who remember back in the days. You would imagine somewhere around season 2, maybe? Somewhere around season 2, something like that. As here we go, about a lap and a half left to go. iWatts needs to be within half a second there or thereabout on the Vegas Strip. We'll have a couple of DRS zones to get himself a bit closer on this coming lap. Can iWatts nab himself his first win in an F1 event since Silverstone back in, might have been season 7 or season 8. He beat Djokovic to the line that day, who was then a 1 or 2 time F1 champion. Can he now beat out Squidge, yet another F1 championship yet another F1 champion, sorry, to a win here. As 1 lap to do it. Squidge with the advantage though of the tires that I now consider to be in better shape than the super softs of iWatts. This'll be interesting. DRS has been enabled, much to Squidge's delight, I'm sure. So here we go. 1 more lap of the Vegas Grand Prix. And as Halo said, 1 lap to do it is all iWatts is going to get. DRS to get yourself a little bit closer on this straight. You're not going to try anything up until the Vegas Strip, but how close can you get? Squidge just trying to shake off, trying to do anything to distract iWatts behind, trying to force him into a little bit of a mistake. Noah is pushing that VAR car around as well, doing anything he can. There's a little bit of a lockup from Squidge as well. Where is Noah going to come into play? Because he looks very, very hungry for a potential P2 here as well. Well and truly in the back of iWatts, and now iWatts has got to watch his back, getting a very, very poor exit. The race win most likely slipped out of his hands here then, and now yellow flags in the following corner. Big lockup from Squidge, and is that going to allow iWatts back into DRS? He needs that DRS, if anything else, to defend from Noah and Ray, who's coming up behind. He is just going to get that DRS, I believe, and that was crucial. He doesn't get... But does he get DRS? Yes, he does. That'll be crucial, because here comes Noah, here comes Ray. The race win will go to Squidge 2017 unless anything happens, but here comes Noah round the outside of iWatts. He's going to try to force his way round the long way, but it just doesn't quite work. Squidge will win the Vegas Grand Prix after a little mistake from iWatts there, but iWatts will just have enough to come home in P2. Congratulations to Squidge. Noah finishes on the podium in P3, followed by Ray in 4th, Djokovic in P5, and Tiger Octat P6. Wiggin comes home in 7th place with Wilco in 8th, Yeatmex in 9th, and SFLY Jamar finishing P10 in the end. It's a double points finish for MP Motorsport for a good week for them. It's a good week for Noah, it's a good week for iWatt as well. It's a brilliant week for Squidge. Double pole positions, a race win, and a P2. It's basically as many points as you can bring home. Who got the fastest lap then in the end as well? That goes to Squidge 2017 on a 43.098. No one else got quite close to it actually. But congratulations to Squidge, who wins the last race of the night. CW the man, yeah, as Matty said, there's a link to actually submit an application to join the league down below if you fancy. Otherwise, I'll give you an ad probably, and we'll see. It is competitive racing though, just so you know. But then, an AIX on top for the first time this season. Squidge 2017 takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship over Matty Adam, who hopefully will be back next week. And this is going to be a very, very interesting Drivers' Championship with a couple of results going back and forth. Race winner and fastest lap, Squidge 2017 with the pole position points as well. 29 points that turn. No, sorry, 28 points in one race plus 18 from the one before. That's 48 points hold home this one weekend, and Matty Adam, I'm sure, will not be happy with that result at all. Thank you for the compliment on the commentary as well. ERU, I think that is. ERUI. Thank you very much. Always nice to hear. Thank you very much. So then, that has been it for round 2, or week 2, should be said, of the Formula 2 Championship here in NEF1. It has been an absolute pleasure doing commentary on it. We'll be back next week out, same time, Monday night at 9 p.m. We'll be going to Europe for Formula 2 for the first time. It'll be Great Britain and Austria, not necessarily in that order. It was meant to be ran in reverse, but after a vote from the drivers, it'll be ran in standard configuration. So both the Red Bull Ring and Silverstone will be coming up in New Era F1 Esports in just a week's time. So until then, I want to thank everyone who has tuned into the stream. Thank you very much for watching and engaging with us as per usual. Look forward to seeing you back next time out. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and Twitch if you haven't already done so. And we will see you in 7 days' time when NEF1 returns. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out and good night.